Hi everybody. Today we are going to introduce Barclays Bank with my teammate Abdul, Sarah, Josie and Dora. Barclays is one of the longest established banks in UK jurisdiction. 300 years of heritage and expertise. Barclays Group now operates in all over 50 countries. They are an AA-rated bank. Barclays competes against both domestic and international money center banks, or banks that provide services from retail banking products like checking and servicing accounts to asset management and investment banking. Barclays is smaller than some of its competitors like HSBC, Citigroup, Bank of America, JP Morgan, and Halifax. Barclays is offering consumer better rate, low, and helping them to survive in the financial crisis. Where recession was happening, Barclays was on the top bank building society. Only Barclays had share price drop less than 29%, whereas other banks' share price dropped 48.72%. Thanks. Now I'm going to pass it to Abdul.
Barclays plc has a widespread global presence, allowing it to spread risk and enjoy the economies of scale. The Barclays brand is well established, historically and continually promoted through sponsorship of the Premier League football. Barclays is particularly associated with innovation and has brought out the first credit card in 1966 and has continued to develop cards, most recently the One Pulse card, combining Oyster credit functions, cashless for London-based customers. The opening of several new flagship branches, along with a refurbishment program, can be seen as an attempt to refocus on customer demands for a strong presence on the high street. Barclays plc is continuously improving the distribution of its products. Its online and internet-based access offers a combination of excellent growth prospects, and its retail direct business also saw growth in 2002 and 2003. Barclays plc has many sources of income throughout the group, and this diversity within the group makes the company more flexible and resistant to economic and environmental changes. The bank has a strong presence in emerging markets, putting it in good position to take advantage of future growth. Also, the bank's level of capitalism means that going forward, the bank is unlikely to need to borrow money from the UK government, which will enable to retain more autonomy and investment.
Hi, now we taking you over to the weaknesses that Barclays has. Services provided in Zimbabwe to individuals connected with them have generated controversy and raised questions about Barclays' ethical positions. Also, the lack of well-trained staff and high attention problems that Barclays has been had is that because Barclays was training at Barclays was something that historically the sector had totally underinvested in. They failed to push profits back into training people. If Barclays had a well-invested training program, people would become more loyal. The sector has been blighted by high staff turnover. The way to reduce high staff turnover is to give people a meaningful career path. The issue of balancing a business brain with a caring brain is a very tricky recruitment challenge. Also, Barclays has completed the integration of collapsed bank Lehman Brothers North American operations. This increased Barclays' profits by 92% to £11.6 billion, boosted by the £6 billion sales of its Barclays Global Investors and fund management business. Nevertheless, the cost of integration and running the new operation contributed to a 75% increase in Barclays' capital operating expenditure, which hit £6.6 billion. This type of bonuses will fill out the role sparked by reports about the Royal Bank of Scotland, which is 70% owned by taxpayers, was seeking approval for large bonus payments. The plan to pay out bonuses in new shares has concerned some existing shareholders because their own average holdings will be further diluted. Some argue that if this is the low point for the banks, their shares will bounce dramatically, giving huge windfalls to those receiving bonuses in shares. Now, Dora will be taking over to the pesto analysis.
Without any doubt, the UK proves to be the leading country of the company's presence. Being the main country of the bank's operation, the United Kingdom demonstrated a greater fall of the GDP. It may be concluded that the higher GDP indices are the greater amounts of money come through banking system, and the more favorable position Barclays PLC would have in a given country. However, it cannot be stated for sure that South Africa provides better conditions for Barclays operation. Comparing interest rates in the UK and the US, it can be stated that the US Federal Reserve conducts a zero rate policy. However, it does not imply that loans made in the USA are free of charge for businesses. Barclays acknowledges that its success depends on including the interests of all the stakeholders, which are customers, employees, shareholders, and the wider community. This plays a fundamental part of Barclays' business philosophy of creating a virtuous circle of satisfied stakeholders and taking the bank's responsibilities seriously. Barclays' CSR activities cover environmental issues, financial inclusions, disability, community investment, human rights, ethics, employment policy, and a commitment to promoting equality and diversity. As a reflection of this commitment, Barclays also supports the promotion and development of corporate social responsibility. When looking at the social benefit of Barclays' work, the challenge for the bank is to create and maximize the value of our CSR activities and their impacts on stakeholders, including society as a whole. Barclays has met this challenge in different areas. Examples include support for rural areas during the UK's food and mouth crisis of early 2001. For example, within 2 weeks of the outbreak, Barclays offered all its farming customers a 3-month repayment break on outstanding loans with interest accruing to accounts. Barclays has also offered a support for deprived areas by working with credit unions and community development finance institutions. The Barclays Cash Card accounts, which is a basic non-credit account, it's aimed at those who may have previously found it difficult to open a conventional account because they lacked a financial track record. So we might conclude by saying much of this relies upon building goodwill, reputation, and possibly social capital through it does seem that at present little of it is intentionally aligned or incorporated within the bank's marketing strategies. I will pass on to Sarah to talk about political and technological factors that are affecting.
Now I will be starting with the technology side of the Barclays Bank. Barclays Bank is the 7th largest bank in Europe by capital assets. However, the bank has set its sights firmly set on becoming one of the world's top 5 banks in technology side. Our research shows that Barclays has a track record in being one of the first banks in bringing innovational technology service to marketplace. They were the first bank to introduce ATM services in Europe and one of the first to develop internet banking back in 1990s. Currently, they are leading providers of contactless debit cards and terminals in UK. Since September 2007, they have issued over 26,000 contactless terminals, enabling retailers to manage transactions quicker and more easily. To follow, Barclays has always associated itself with innovation, and in 1966 they introduced the world's first credit card. Moreover, they have introduced the most unique technology with combining 3 cards in one. Barclays Card One Pulse is a contactless credit card which has inbuilt Oyster card. Barclays Bank is very precise in making sure their operation is running as smooth as possible with their technology, while maintaining their place in vanguard of banking technology development. Now, start looking at the political side. Government works closely with High Street Bank, ensuring the product and services obeys rules and logistics as they should. During downtime of global economy, few of the UK banks, including Barclays, were in need of cash injection. In later reports, British government agreed with £40 billion bailout infusion into 3 banks, while Barclays seeking over $7 billion of it. However, later reports showed the bank rejected the offer and insisting to raise the cash themselves without need of government help, which could have led to nationalization or expectations of more lending to public or business.